बिहारी
राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा
माधवा कुंज बिहारी
गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
यशोदानंदन भज जनरंजन
यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन
यमुना तीर वनचारी
यमुना तीर वनचारी
जय राधा माधव कुंद बिहारी
जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी
गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
जय राधा गोपीनाथ राधा गोपीनाथ राधे
जय राधा गोपीनाथ राधा गोपीनाथ राधे
जय राधा गोविंद राधा गोविंद राधे जय
राधा गोविंद राधे
जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रमा
जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रमा
नित्य गौर हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल
नित्य गौर हरि बोल बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल।
जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद।
निताय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद।
गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य सच्ची हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शीला प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर गोस्वामी महाराज प्रभुपाद की जय।
जय
नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की
जय।
भक्ति देवी की जय। तुलसी महारानी की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय। मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की जय। तुलसी महारानी की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। सामवेद भक्त वृंद की जय। Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories. Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Just Mangala Sharan prayers. Om Adhyartamirantasya Jnananjanashalakaya चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधाकान्ता नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण
कृष्ण
कृष्णा
कृष्ण
हरे
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 राम
राम
हरे
हरे
राम
राम
राम राम
राम राम
हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण
कृष्ण
हरे 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 राम
राम
हरे राम Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Welcome to Srimad Bhagavad Gita class for chapter 5. We have done till verse 10. The verse 10 talks about working with detachment. So the verse is Brahmadhyadhaya karmani sangam taktva karoti yaha lipyatena sapapena padmapatra vivamasaha. So Brahmadhyaya karmani. So if I am asked to work in a company and they will say you have to work only, don't expect any salary, will I work? So that is what the detachment here is talking about here. But the only difference is that whatever the karma that you are doing without attachment and surrendering the results to Krishna. So that is the difference here. Surrendering the results unto the Supreme Lord. It is like the water drops are coming onto the lotus but not making it wet. Right? So you must have seen the buildings on which you have shades on the on the windows, etc., and also on the door. So when the water droplets come of the rain, they will come on that. They wash everything, the dirt that has been accumulated over a period of time, and they will take the dirt along with them and they go down onto the earth. Right? So similarly, whatever comes on the lotus petal, even if a mosquito comes or any insect comes and tries to go into the water, see how the bubble comes? Bubble comes because of the surface tension. Yes. So surface tension is the cause because of which the bubbles are coming. So that bubble, along with the water and whatever is there along with that, everything will come down. So detachment with the work, that means it will take away all the dirt also from our heart. That's how we have to take it. It is. So what it says that Padmapatra Vivambhasa Dipyatena sa papena Padmapatra Vivambhasa. So whatever papa we are doing. So because we are doing it with a detachment mood, with the mood of detachment, it will take away all the papa kramani. So that is the beauty of working with detachment. And that is the way Krishna asking us to do all the karma that we are doing for Krishna. So let's go to verse 11. But before that, do you have any question? Okay, wonderful. So now what is the motivation for such a person to work if he is not getting anything in return? If one is not involved, one should not be having emotional desire of the result. One should not be attached to the result. What is the motivation for working if it is not getting any result? So Krishna says purification, which is addressed in the verse 11. So what purification it brings to you? Kayena manasa buddhaya kaivalairindrayarapi yoginah sarva kurvanti sangat taktvam shuddhaye. Repeat.
कायेन मनसा बुद्धया केवलैरे इन्द्रियापि योगिनः कर्मणा कुर्वन्ति सङ्गं त्यक्त्वा शुद्धये.
So there is no karmana in this, so I'll chant again. You repeat. Kayena manasa buddhya kaivalairindrayarapi yoginah karma kurvanti sangat taktvam shuddhaye.
कायेन मनसा बुद्धया केवलैरिन्द्रियापि योगिना कर्म कुर्वन्ति सङ्गं त्यक्त्वा शुद्धये.
Yeah, so kayena here, very important is to understand that kayena. So if we know the verse, kayena vacha manasendriyarva buddhyatmana va prakritir swabhavat karoni yatyam sakalam parasmai narayana epi samarapayami. So kaya vacha mana. So when we are doing the uh, worship, we are doing with kaya, vacha and mana. So all these things are getting involved. Our kaya, vacha and mana. All these things are coming together, and then we are doing any worship. So we are offering everything. And to whom are we offering? Kayena vacha manasendriyarva buddhyatmanava. And we are also offering our buddhi. Yeah, that also we are offering. So everything is getting offered to Narayana. Narayana epi samarapayami. And who is that Narayana? Achyutam Keshavam Rama Narayanan Krishna Damodaram Vasudevam Bhaje. Kayana vacha manasendriyarva buddhyatmana krute svabhavat karori yadyam sakalam parasmai narayana epi samarapayami. And who's the third? Achyutam Keshavam Rama Narayanan Krishna Damodaram Vasudevam Bhaje. So it's a beautiful verse that is, in Bhagavatam as well. So it says us, it tells us who that Narayan is, to whom we are offering all this to. So if we look at the word to word in this verse, you will get to know the real meaning of every syllable that is used in this verse by Krishna. Kayena with the body, Manasa with the mind, Buddhya with the intelligence, Kevalaya purified, Indriyai with the senses, Api even, Yogina Krishna conscious persons, Karma actions, Kurvanti they perform, Sangam attachment, Tyaktva giving up, Atma of the self, Shuddhaye for the purpose of purification. So the translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The yogi is abandoning attachment, act with the body, mind, intelligence and even with the senses only for the purpose of purification. Right? So when we understand this from the perspective of Kayena, Manasa and Buddhya and Indriya also. So everything is getting involved and then we are doing the worship. So with the body, with the mind, with the intelligence and even with the senses. Kevalayar Indriya Rapi Yogina Karmani Kurvante. The yogi work for that purpose. What purpose? Sangam Taktva. If I have given up the attachment, Atma Shuddhi for the sake of purification. We can practice spiritual life at various levels. We have discussed fear, desire and love earlier. So fear is I don't go to God, I will be punished. So let me obey God. So that is the fear. Desire, if I obey God, He will give me something good. I will get good results. That's why I have to go to God and obey the God's order. Duty is the level where sadhana bhakti is performed. Duty can mean various things, but for our level, we want to follow spiritual master for Krishna so that I will become purified, so that I will become elevated, so that I will transcend. I will ultimately become liberated and return back to Krishna or Krishna Loka. So our intention over there is to obey the orders of the spiritual master. And why? Because there is a hidden agenda is that if I listen to the order of my spiritual master, then I will be able to go back to Godhead, because my spiritual master is saying that. Tad viddhi pranipatena pariprashtena sevaya. Upadekshanti te jnana. Because he is giving the upadesha. Why we have to listen to him? Because he has seen the truth. He has seen the absolute truth. And that is the reason we are following our spiritual master. So all these chapters, though they are sequentially, but sometimes they are connected to each other in terms of the theme as well, So we have to see that how theme is connected to each other. Each chapter is connected to one another. So when we are chanting Hare Krishna, say we are not able to concentrate, so at least do the ritual. At least let the senses chant. Normally, the idea is in spiritual life, the senses causes the bondage. And so we should have minimum engagement of the senses. But the process of purification is in active method of yoga. There is active method of yoga and there is a contemplatory method of yoga. What is the contemplatory method of yoga? Is more centered around the Jnani process. One sits and ponders, I am not the body, I am the soul, neti principle, I am not this, I am not that. So this is the one way of doing this, doing the sadhana. Other way of doing things is actively use the senses in Krishna's service. Use the eyes to behold Krishna's beauty, form. Use tongue to speak about Krishna. And this way, Sangam Taktva Shuddhaye, the senses which normally cause bondage can lead to liberation. So, if we engage them properly at final stage, when we arrive at purified senses, can bring us ecstasy. The senses cause that, supposed to be causing the bondage and agony in material world. At this level, the pure stage level, the senses can bring us ecstasy, like Rupa Goswami is saying, when I chant holy name, I get so much nectar I relish. And he used to dance like anything, like a mad person. So currently the senses cause agony, as there is a fight we should do, and we should not do, but a pure stage, they will bring ecstasy, but in between, to go to the form of agony to ecstasy, we have to have tolerance, patience, determination. So steadily we engage in the process of bhakti, process of purification. You must have seen the movie Enter the Dragon. Yeah, Bruce Lee's picture. You have seen it too? Yeah. How much hard work that he does, That is only in the movie that we have seen the Bruce Lee, how hard work he is doing, or maybe the 36th chamber of Shaolin. How much hard work they have shown. But actually, that's really required, I was talking to a couple of monks, they have been taught this this art of, martial arts. So they said we have to really undergo a lot of hard work. And it's not easy. So with the Tai Chi process also, they can make their hands like rod, iron rod. Only with the Tai Chi process, though they will be looking very slim, trim, but with the Tai Chi, they can make their hands like rods. And they can hammer like a, if they push you or they, if they punch you, it will be like a hammer. So that is the beauty of all these sadhana. So sadhana has to be done whether sadhana is in this or sadhana in bhakti. So sadhana bhakti that as devotee is supposed to be doing, that also requires tolerance, patience, determination. So steadily we engage in the process of bhakti and we get the purification. So even the senses can be engaged normally, the senses are put aside. And they pull us back. like what happens to Arjun when he tells Krishna to bring his chariot in the middle of the two armies, that he wanted to see you all are standing there. My body is quivering, my hands are not working, my mouth is drying up, all these kind of symptoms he started showing, because he was working on the bodily platform that time. He was not at the soul level. So Krishna is continuously asking him to come to the transcend from this and then come to the soul level. And then he has instructed him so many times, and he has finally shown him the that everybody is already dead and he is only nimitta matra. So the senses means senses are working on the material level. But when the senses want to do anything, our soul will be instructed by the super soul. He permits, because we come with a free will. Super soul will not say anything to no. But still, the duty of the soul is to go to super soul and ask for permission. We don't even come to know that is happening. Because that part of service, that is the connection between soul and super soul, is automatic. And it happens that it goes and talks to super soul, permits. And once that happens, then again on the material platform, what happens? The three board of material nature, they will act and they will allow us to do those particular activity, whatever it may be. So sensory spirituality, which means senses are actively used in the spirituality. So if we use our senses in spirituality, in the process of purification, in this way one makes advancement and return back to Lord Krishna. So here the remarkable point is, even senses are involved. Kevalair indriyair api. The same tongue which can bind us, the same tongue can purify us. If we speak glories of Krishna, it can elevate us and it can liberate us. In Prabhupada's purport, he has quoted from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, written by Srila Rupa Goswami, and I think 1.2.187, Ishayasya Hareyar Dasye Karmana Manasya Gira Nikhilasya Epi Avasthasu Jivam Mukta Sa Uchyate. A person in Krishna consciousness, or in other words, in the service of Krishna, with his body, mind, intelligence, and words, is a liberated person even within the material world. Although he may be engaged in many so-called material activities. Such a person is Jivana Mukta. Such a person is actually liberated. So there are various kinds of muktis. So which are those different kinds of muktis? Jivan Mukta versus Videha Mukta. So Srila Jiva Goswami has talked about three types of Mahabhagavats: Gunatita and Sarupa Siddha. So they transcended these three modes and realized the Sarupa in the spiritual world. They may be in a material world, but for all practical purposes, they see Krishna in everything. Similarly, Raghunath Das Goswami, stomach was upset and he ate kheer in spiritual world prepared by Srimati Radharani and Sakhis. There are one leg in the spiritual world and one leg in the material world. So like this. So these are all big elevated personalities, We cannot compare ourselves with them, but these are the pastimes of them. So Gunanita, not Sarupa Siddha. Jivan Mukta, but not realize the Sarupa in spiritual world, because the person is no longer influenced by the three modes of material nature. So now we know the sensory objects, senses, and how it manifests by the channel of senses are going to the soul, soul is going to super soul is permitting, and then again coming to the three modes of material nature, and then the on the bodily platform, then we are doing the activity. So those who are not gunatita, not sarupa siddha, sthira, both the legs are in the material world, but eyes are fixed in spiritual world. They are not looking here and there for the pleasure available in the material world. These are the yogis. Their eyes are fixed on the spiritual world alone. Though they are seen in the material world, but they are actually the real yogis. And Jivan Mukta are one who has deha, who has a body but is liberated from material attachment. So for all practical purposes, these persons are liberated. The person is within the body but is liberated because the person is having no attachments, whatever may be, and that can cause bondage as in the attachment because they have the attachment to the material world. So Deha Mukta is the person who has left the body and has gone back to spiritual world. But those who are Deha Yukta and still are here, Deha Yukta and Deha Mukta. So these are two different things. Okay. So those who are Deha Yukta, they will still be on the material platform, on the material world, but their eyes are always there on the spiritual world. So they are continuously meditating upon the Lord. Any question? Renuka, Varun?
Prabhuji.
Okay. 5.12. Yukta karma phalam tyaktva shanti mapnoti naishtikim ayukta karma kamakarena phale sakto nibadhyate.
Yukta karma phalam tyaktva santim apnoti nashtikim ayukta kama karena phale sakto nibhadyate.
Yeah, yukta, one who is engaged in devotional service. Karma phalam, the results of all activities. Tyaktva, giving up. Shantim, perfect peace. Apanoti, achieves. Naishtikim, unflinching. Ayukta, one who is not in Krishna consciousness. Kamakarena, for enjoying the result of work. Phale, in the result. Shaktaha, attached. Nibadhyate, becomes entangled. Do you want to read the translation?
Yes, Prabhu. The steadily devoted soul attains unadulterated peace because he offers the results of all activities to me, whereas a person who is not in union with the divine, who is greedy for the fruit of his labor, becomes entangled.
The steadily devoted soul attains unadulterated peace because he offers the result of all activities to me, whereas a person who is not in union with the divine, who is greedy for the fruits of his labor, becomes entangled. So who gets entangled? The one who is still attached to the results of the work that he is doing. So we can get the reference from the earlier verse and we can say that yes, this is what the fact is, wherein I have to be very careful and I don't have to do this particular thing. And Srila Prabhupada very beautifully, explains that the difference between a person in Krishna consciousness and a person in bodily consciousness. The former is attached to Krishna, where the latter is attached to the results of his activities. So the person who is attached to Krishna and works for him only is certainly a liberated person. Right? So we have to be very careful that how we are functioning in this world. where we are doing the activities the way a devotee is supposed to be doing, or we are doing the activities the way a karmi is doing the activities. So, what do you think, Varun Prabhu?
What, Prabhu? Like, what is a
My question is, so what is supposed to be doing in the what a devotee is supposed to be doing?
basically he continued to do work. The only thing is that he should not get entangled with the work, and how to not to get entangled is basically he should not be basically he whatever he do he needs to offer the result of activities to Krishna without thinking that if I am doing this I should get this, or if I am doing that I should like this. Basically the fruit of his labor, he should not be worried about that, and whatever the result he simply offer to Krishna, be a good or be it a bad. So that's basically a devotee should do.
Yeah. So yukta. So he is a yukta, such a person who is well situated, well connected with spiritual world. The karma phalam tyaktva. Such a person gives up attachment to the fruits of material world. And shantim apnoti. Such a person attains peace. Naishtikim, inflatable, unshakable, because his faith is unshakable. Ayukta karma karena, a person who is ayukta, not connected with absolute truth, such a person is karma karena. A person acts because of lust, of selfish desires. He has some personal desires to do something and to gain something. So he is doing the karma karena. And phale shakto, person attracted by desire of fruits. That person who is doing the ayukta karma karena, that is doing the work in order to gain something out of it. Nipadyate, such a person becomes bonded. In this work, Krishna is comparing between fruity work and karma yogis. In the 6th verse also of this chapter, there is a comparison between karma yogi and jnana yogi. So there Krishna has said that sannyasastu mahabaho dukkham aptum ayogataha. Yuga yukto munir brahma na chirena digacchati. Na chirena digacchati. The person who is ayogataha, the person who is not practicing karma yoga, is trying to do an activity, that person will find it very difficult to become free from the bondage. So this chapter is, so beautifully defining all the qualities of a person who is actually doing the karma yoga in the right direction, in the right way, and the person who is not doing it the right way. So who will be get bonded and who will not get bonded? So Krishna will explain that in this chapter, that the action, so not doing any action, that causes bondage as well. But the motivation causes bondage. And if a person doesn't have selfish motivation, then the person will not get bound. And Shri Krishna is going to tell over here, now in this verse, that the person who doesn't have selfish motivation doesn't get bound. So here he says that yukta karma phalam tyaktva. So because this person doesn't have selfish motivation, that person doesn't get bound. And when the person doesn't get bound, shanti apnoti naishtikim. So Krishna knows that Arjun has longing for peace, but he is telling that you will attain supreme peace. He has used Paramashanti in 4.39, if you remember. And here he is using a similar superlative, that Naishtikim, which means unshakable, very deep, unflinching faith. People may have shown or grown facade of peace in this world, but when big agitation will come up, they will also get disturbed. But when a person doesn't have any agitation, nothing in the world can disturb them. Shantim apnoti naishtikim. So Krishna is telling Arjun that don't think that you will get peace simply by avoiding war. Actually, even if you would avoid the war, as long as one has a material attachment, one will get agitated. But you act in Karma Yoga and purify yourself from material attachment, then what you will attain is Shantim Naishtikyam. You will attain unshakable peace. Why all this lecture is happening? Because Arjun is saying that he doesn't want to fight. My hands are quivering, my mouth is drying up, and I am no more able to fight. So from there it starts, and then he gives the 5 reasons that why he doesn't want to fight. Then he gives what is the use of that happiness, what will happen to all the ladies in the family. There is that compassion, and then when all the men will be killed, then what will happen to the ladies? Varana Sankara, he gives that another reason. So these kind of reasons he starts giving, but actual reason was that he didn't want to fight against his own people. So that is all, everything revolves around the bodily attachment, and with our own people, that how can I kill them? So on the other hand, Ayukt, the person who is not connected. So here the comparison between Karma Yogi and fruitive worker, Karma Kandi or materialist, Ayukta Karma Karena, such a person works out of material desire. When he works out of material desire, what happens? Phale Shakto Nibadyate. Such a person becomes bound. So Krishna is very categorically comparing and explaining what causes bondage is not action but motivation. When there is kama karena phale shakto, there is bondage, but when there is yukta karma phalam tyaktva, there is no bondage. Srila Prabhupada in his purport is very beautifully explained that the secret Krishna consciousness is the realization that there is no existence besides Krishna, is the platform of peace and fearlessness. So it means ultimately everything is working under the sanction of Krishna, and whatever exists is Krishna's energy. And when we see something is separate from Krishna, that is our illusion. And when we see everything is connected to Krishna, that is reality. So no existence besides Krishna is the platform of peace. Peace we talked about, which is Shanti, but Srila Prabhupada says peace and fearlessness. Why fearlessness? Naishtiki. What brings peace is fearlessness. What if that goes away? The fear will take over. And what will happen? The peace will go away. But when one understands that there is nothing beyond Krishna, and Krishna is always my well-wisher, then there is no loss. That is the platform of peace and fearlessness. But what is important for people like us, those who are struggling in this material world, is that we have to take a step towards Krishna. Then Krishna will take 10,000 steps. Because people, stupid people will ask, what if he takes 998, steps? अरे तुम तो एक लो पहले. So, people, they don't want to do anything, just ask question. And sometimes, just for the sake of, argument, they will do the argument. So, that becomes, such a great issue that people don't understand which platform are they actually standing and what they want to achieve by doing this kind of argumentation. Yeah. So in the next verse, Krishna will talk about how one can stay detached further. So detachment is still continuing, There is no way that we are getting rid of this detachment part. Krishna is further going, even every intricacy that he is talking about. So 5.13 says, सर्वकर्माणि मनसा सन्न्यस्यास्ते सुखं वशी नवद्वारे पुरे देहि नैवीकुर्वन्न कारयन्.
सर्वकर्माणि मनसा सन्न्यास्यस्ते सुखं वशी नवाद्वारे पुरदेहि नैवाकुर्वं न कार्यम्.
Sarva, all, and karmani, activities, manasa, by the mind, and sannyasya, giving up, aste, remains, sukham, in happiness, vashi, one who is controlled, जो वश में रहता है. Navadware, in the place where there are 9 gates. Pure, in the city. Dehi, in the embodied soul. Na, never. Eva, certainly. Kurvam, doing anything. Na, not. Karayan, causing to be done. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. When the embodied living beings controls his nature and mentally renounces all actions, he resides happily in the city of 9 gates, the material body, neither working nor causing work to be done. So Krishna says, Sarva Karmani Manasa, all the work from mind, what we do, Sannyaasaste. So here Krishna is talking about Manasa Sannyasa. We have to do Manasa Puja. This means if a devotee cannot worship Krishna directly, he can worship Krishna in mind. So if we cannot offer Krishna a beautiful blue jewel necklace because we don't have much finances, for this we can do this offering in mind and pray Shri Krishna to accept it. So that is accepted by Krishna by seeing our intention to serve him, to glorify him, and he accepts our intention. This is at a devotee's level, at Karma Yogi level. So, Manasa Sannyasaste. Okay, I am not the doer, Sarva Karmani Manasa. Sannyasaste. When I understand that I am not the doer, body has certain needs and those needs are to be fulfilled. So, whatever need are required for the body, I will fulfill those needs. Sukham Vashi. So, because I want to do a Sukham Vashi, I want to be always happy, In order to have that Vasha, I will, do whatever I want to do. So, such a person is able to stay happily Sukham Vashi. How happy? Because there will be no messing up with troublesome sense objects, especially in terms of emotional entanglement with them. We will function so we will function in the material world, but we will not be emotionally entangled. And Navadware Pure Dehi. Navadware refers to 9 doors. And Pure Dehi. Pura is the city. And Dehi is the soul who lives in the city of 9 gates. Nevat Kurvan na Karyan. Such a person will not be the doer and will not be motivator for doing to others. If you look at the first verse of first verse, I think, yeah. Arjuna, Arjuna Uvacha, Jayati Cheta Karmanas Te Mata Buddhir Janardana Tat Kim Karmani Ghoremam Najosi Keshava. This is the verse. So Krishna is saying that when you understand this philosophy completely, then you will understand that neither you are a doer nor I am making you to do anything. You will understand that it is material nature which is acting out of me. So how the material nature will act through me, because I am so attached to the material nature. That's why material nature will work through me. Because my desire is to enjoy this material world. That's why the material world will act through me. And I will also always get bounded by that. So such a person, what happens? So what is this Navadware, Pure Dehi? Navadware are the 9 holes in the body. And Prabhupada in his purport, I think he has mentioned uh, from one of the Upanishads, श्वेताश्वर उपनिषद या नवद्वारे पुरे देहि हमसो लीलायते बहि पश्येत् सर्वस्य लोकस्य स्थावरस्य चरस्य च. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is living within the body of a living entity, is the controller of all living entities all over the universe. The body consists of 9 gates: 2 eyes, 2 nostrils, 2 ears, 1 mouth, the anus, and the genitals. The living entity in his conditioned stage identifies himself with the body, but when he identifies himself with the Lord within himself, he becomes just as free as the Lord, even while in the body. So, therefore, a Krishna conscious person is free from both the outer and inner activities of the material body. But are we really Krishna conscious from that sense perspective? So what is described here is Lord is situated in this body. Ishi sarvasya lokasya sthavarasya charasya cha. When the living entity Vashi sarvasya lokasya, situated in conditioned stage, identifies himself as this body, what are 9 gates of the body? 9 gates are 2 eyes, 2 nostrils, 2 ears, 1 mouth, the anus, and the genitals. Just as in the city has different gates, the entry points and exit points are through these. So we interact to the world, we find good looking senses, we wanted to enjoy. So by Jayana Indriya, we perceive some sensory impression, come inside, and we engage in Indriya Trupti. Certain sensory actions go out and we become bound. So interaction of soul with external world happens through these 9 gates actually. So we have to control our all these 9 gates. We can't even control our one gate, that is mouth. कि आज गुलाब जामुन खाने हैं, कल रबड़ी खानी है, and परसों भजिए खाने हैं, so we always have some or the other desire to eat. So there is only one gate, which is mouth, we are not able to control. And here we are talking about the 9 gates: the eyes, the ear, the nose, and then the mouth, anus, genitals, everything. Because these are the entry and exit points. So if we are able to control these senses properly, then we are able to win over the situation of being on the yoga platform. And that is also on the Karma Yogi platform. We are still not gone to the pure bhakti stage. We are only on the Karma Yogi stage, wherein we have to control this. But as Krishna says in 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita to Arjun, stay on the Karma Yoga stage, because you are stating here or setting an example of a true leader by staying on this platform and then fighting this battle, winning this battle over, and then showing up a true spirit of a warrior. Okay, any questions? Okay, the
Okay,
14th.
I was gonna, Hare Krishna, I was gonna ask a question about
Yeah,
the Navadwari Pure, that sloga.
yeah.
Can I have another example of how to apply it in daily life?
You want me to give an example, or you have some example?
I just want to understand I know you
Yeah.
gave an explanation on this. I just want to understand in another context how this works and applies in the real day-to-day world.
Yeah. So, see, we are comparing a devotee and a non-devotee behavior here. Okay. So, the Karma Yogi, the one who is in controlling or is able to control this Navadware. Okay. So, these nine doors, the one who is able to control that, even though that person is in the material world, he will still be on the spiritual platform. Though he is present on the material platform in the bodily way. But if he is able to control all these nine gates by controlling the body, by controlling the senses, by controlling the tongue, he is able to control all these nine gates, then he is the pure yogi, though he is on the Karma Yoga stage. Does it make sense?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
न कर्तृत्वं न कर्माणि लोकस्य सृजति प्रभुः न कर्मफलसंयोगं स्वभावस्तु प्रवर्तते.
न कर्तृत्वं न कर्माणि लोकस्य सृजति
कस्य सृजन् प्रभु न कर्मफला संयोगं स्वभावस्तु पर्वर्तते
प्रवर्तते. I'll repeat
पर्वर्तते
again. न कर्तृत्वं न कर्माणि लोकस्य सृजति प्रभुः न कर्मफलसंयोगं स्वभावस्तु प्रवर्तते.
न कर्तृत्वं न कर्माणि लोकस्य सृजति प्रभु न कर्मफलसंयोगं स्वभावस्तु पर्वर्तते
Pravartate, yes. So, word to word, na, never, kartitvam, proprietorship, na, nor, karmani, activities, lokasya, of the people, srijati, creates, prabhu, the master of the city of the body, na, nor, karmaphala, with the results of activities, samyogam, connection, swabhava, the modes of material nature, to, but, pravartate, act. The embodied spirit, the translation by Srila Prabhupada, the embodied spirit, master of the city of his body, does not create activities, nor does he induce people to act, nor does he create the fruits of action. All this is enacted by the modes of material nature. So that's a, beauty of being in the material nature. So when we are in the material nature, everything is happening on its own. We have no control whatsoever. The control can come only if we are surrendered to Krishna. And that comes in 7.14 when Krishna says, what does he say 7.14, Varun Prabhu? दैवी ही ऐशा गुणमयी मम माया दुरत्यया मामय वाये प्रपद्यन्ते माया में तांतरन्ति. This material energy is my external energy, and to cross this ocean, the three modes of material nature, you have to surrender into me. This is an ocean which you can cross very easily if you surrender to me. I am paraphrasing because so that it can make the understanding even easy for you. So this is the external energy of mind, Krishna says. So the translation is, the embodied spirit, master of the city of his body, does not create activities, nor does he induce people to act, nor does he create the fruits of action. All this is enacted by the modes of material nature. Modes of material nature actually creates everything for you, that any attraction, any desire, any fruity results, everything it shows you, it gives you illusion for everything. And it is our mistake that our mind is not in our control, so we get attracted to all these items. And when we get attracted to these items, we start to go into an illusion that if I get this, if I get that, you know. So like this, our attraction to all these material objects never dies. It keeps on increasing, keeps on increasing. Today I have 55 inches of TV. I want 85 inches. But why? Are you not able to see the same thing on 55 inches? Even 40 inch would have been better. Okay, you want bigger because you got a bigger room, but then why 85 inches? Wall mounted TV and then this and that, you know. People can say that now I am not the doer, the material nature is not doer, God is the doer. Na kartuttam na karmani, lokasya sajati Prabhu. No, Prabhu is referred to the Supreme Lord. No, Prabhu is not the doer. Actually, Prabhu is also the master of city of this body. So Prabhu here can be referred to as Supreme Lord, and Prabhu is also referred here as to the soul, which is part and parcel of Super Soul. So here Srila Prabhupada has referred to soul that he is not the doer. Na kartutvam na karmani lokasya srijati Prabhu. So the soul never does things nor it get done by others. Why? Because na karma phala samyogam swabhavastu pavartate. All this happened by swabhava. And swabhava refers to one's material nature. So it is not that we do things. It is not others make to do things and it doesn't become attached to things. Who is this? The liberated soul or enlightened soul. Soul is not doing all these things to the soul. Because soul is never the doer. But as long as the soul thinks that I am the doer, the soul becomes a bearer and the reaper of the consequences. But when the soul understands that I am not the doer, the soul will not be reaper of the consequences. So svabhavastu pravartate, which means material nature is acting. So Bhagavad Gita is offering a very profound vision here. Sometimes we think about Bhagavad Gita as just chant Hare Krishna and be happy. Yes, that is true. But definitely that is true when we can chant Hare Krishna, make spiritual advancement and be happy. But that doesn't mean here is no metaphysical depth over here in the Bhagavad Gita, and the conclusion is profoundly simple, but at the same time it can be very deep also. So Krishna is saying here the body is a machine and will act in a particular way. So svabhavastu pravartate, when the soul is identified with that, it will become bound by when soul doesn't identify with that. So soul utilizes that, then the soul doesn't become bound. So Krishna is telling Arjun that the body is having the proper propensity and it will act according to the propensity, and you stay detached, then you will stay free from bondage. It's a very deep science actually. Please read the purport at least 10 times. So Prabhupada writes, what is the nature of the soul? He is simply in the midst of the material ocean struggling for existence. The waves of the ocean are tossing up and down and he has no control over them. So his best solution is to get out the water by transcendental power of Krishna. That is Krishna consciousness. So get the shelter of Krishna, and that alone will save him from all the turmoil that is happening around. So we all are in that ocean. And we are getting affected by all this turmoil. So we are always think that we passionate, sometimes suddenly we feel I just don't do anything. Passionate means, yeah, kuch karke dikhana, like, you know. So I will just show the word who am I am such a powerful person, etc. Other times we feel जो हो रहा है वो जो हो रहा है वो जो नहीं हो रहा है वो नहीं हो रहा है जो हो रहा है वो होने दो. Let anything happens. Who bothers? It doesn't make sense and it doesn't make any difference. So let me relax. I am not bothered. I am not doing anything. That relaxation may be very well, but it is tamasic. Let me sleep. So just let things happen by on their own. But Krishna is saying that transcend from these modes of goodness, passion, and ignorance. And then look at the Varnashrama Dharma, which recognizes that we are all subject to certain modes, but offers us a pathway by which we can serve Krishna steadily connecting with Krishna without unflinching deviation, unflinching faith. We have to show that, that we have an unflinching faith on these things. Okay, so here is a logical stop, and we will discuss the remaining 4-5 verses on Friday, right? Friday is our class, next same time. Yeah. Any question before we close?
No question.
14 is done, so we have to do it on 15. I hope you guys are reading the purport nicely. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Please read, because this is a very important chapter. Every chapter is important, but here there is a very deep philosophy in the 5th chapter about the Karma Yoga. So it is very, very essential that you read it, not only from the exam perspective, but from your understanding perspective as well, because once you understand, then you will be able to explain it to others. That's why it is very important from that angle. Okay, let's do a Vaishnava Pranam and then we can close today. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. अनंतकोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय. जगत गुरु श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय. श्री श्री राधा गोपीनाथ भगवान की जय. गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल.
Hare Krishna.
हरे
Hare
कृष्णा.
Krishna.